Welcome back. All right, so for tonight's game, the theme, of course, is that people are not happy about the officiating. And there's another game I'm watching right now where people are not happy about the officiating. There's weak call. I'll get into that when I review that game. But we're going to review Boston and the Islanders since that's the game that's done. And in the case of the Islanders, this is just how this works. I know they got outplayed. Same thing happened against Pittsburgh. They get outplayed, and then they win. So it was Rask versus Varlamov. The two fourth lines started out. The hits were pretty big early on in this one. Both teams came out playing the physical game. Varlamov makes some saves, sticky pokies going on. Pasternak's denied, and then he scores from McAvoy and Marchand at 1:25. So this is where Boston is completely dominating the game. Krejci fires one high as the Bruins press for another. Marchand has two near misses. The Islanders completely under siege. Now the score 1-0. The shots only 3-2, but the scoring chances were 4-0 for the Bruins early on. So again, I'm watching this and going, okay, so the Bruins are dominating, but they're only up by one. The Islanders don't let you get further ahead than one. And this has been a theme through this year's and last year's playoffs. This is becoming a theme for this team under Barry Trotz. So, physical, fast first 5 minutes for the Bruins. Varlamov denies McAvoy. Nelson fires one wide. Kuhlman then fires one wide as well. Coyle fires one high after that. Bruins. It's all Bruins. It is all flat out Bruins at this point in the game. But it's only 1-0. The Islanders weather this. They're only down by one. The Islanders go back-to-back with the icings, and you can see what they're doing. Back-to-back icings, you're like, oh, now they get the Bergeron line out there. They're slowing down the game. They're taking some of the wind out of the sails of the Bruins. You can take those icings, take a breather, take another icing, take a breather. You're taking the flow out of the game. So the Islanders, a team that really loves flow in the game. When they're down like this and they're having trouble, they have no problem taking the flow out of it. Corrali had a shot that deflects wide. Varlamov saves on Lauzon. Some don't make me come over there breaks out between these two teams. Bergeron deflects one wide. Mayfield gets knocked down. He was on his knees before the contact, though, so while it looked kind of ugly, the contact was while he was down on his knees, so you're not getting a high stick there. Islanders press with 5.5 minutes left. Rask with a turnover to Barzal. The Bruins do clear it, though. The Islanders not allowing many shots in the second half. So they allowed a bunch in the first half, not much in the second half at all. Coyle had a chance that was defended. Varlamov makes some saves there. The Islanders get their first power play. Corrali with a slash. The fans disagree. Barzal scores. So Barzal scores from Dobson and Everly at 18:49. It's a top corner snipe. And then the Islanders get some more chances in the final minute. They have to feel like this is just theft, right? The Bruins dominate most of this period. It's 1-1. Second period, Lazar exits, lower body injury. He would not return. Doesn't look like he'll probably play the next game either. The Islanders get early pressure, and then when the Bruins get it, strong stick work by the Islanders. Really good defense going on there. Hall had a chance from a bad angle. That was stopped. The Islanders then get an early power play, and they score on it. Palmieri from Bailey and Leddy at 4:49. It had been a good kill until then. It was with about 30 seconds left in the kill that they score. And again, you can get mad and say, well, the referee screwed it up. Well, okay, so you end up killing more penalties than the other guy, but you want to kill him off. The Islanders had a grand total of 4 power plays tonight. It's not a ton of power plays. I understand why people are upset, but at the same time, your penalty kill has to be better than this. And so this was a problem. Boston's behind. It was the only shot of the power play was Palmieri's goal. And like I say here, near the end, the Islanders then pressed for another. The Bruins were reeling. Tenorti misses wide on a tying attempt. Rask denies Palmieri. There was a post for Pastrnak, and then Marchand ties the game from Pastrnak and McAvoy at 7:27. And the only way I can put it is he pyloned Pelech. He went around Pelech. Not very many people go around Pelech like that. It really doesn't happen, and he did. No, it was Pulick, not Pelech. Pulick. He did it to Pulick. Sorry, Pelech. He did it, Pulick. The names are very close. It's very easy to mix the two up. And what a goal by Marchand. Just absolutely gorgeous. Ritchie then gets a chance right after. Varlamov denies Bergeron. Bailey narrowly misses one wide the other way. Hall was robbed as the Bruins would press, and Mayfield stops a Charlie Coyle goal. He blocked it. So the Bruins are getting a lot of opportunities, a lot of chances. Varlamov's playing very, very well. Varlamov had an excellent game. And then Bailey scores. This is a 5-on-5 from Pajot and Beauvillier at 14:30. Fast break goal, great pass. The Islanders and Varlamov clearly at this point thinking, so we could steal this one, right? The Islanders get another power play. Ref, you suck. Chance breakout. And I understand. So this is the third power play for the Islanders. The Bruins didn't have one yet. But again, you were allowed to. So let's go back a little over 2 years. When Vegas lost that lead against San Jose with the major penalty, what did I say? I said, you have the opportunity to kill the power play. That was an option. And a lot of people went, wow, he's trolling Vegas right now. That's just awful. I cannot stand here and say, well, see, there's 3 power play goals against. You're just screwed. Your penalty kill has to come up with a big kill. You're down 3-2. You have to kill this. If you're mad about the call, all right. Eventually, you're going to get some calls, and they did. Eventually, it's probably going to even up at least a little. And this was Boston's problem tonight. They could not kill off a power play. So that third power play goal is Eberle from Barzal and Dobson at 16:38. Coyle had no stick, so it was a 5-on-3.5. This is why I find it weird that people wanted to pile on Rask for this. It was a 5-on-3, basically. In that I think it was McAvoy's stick broke, and so Coyle, or it was Grzelcyk, I think, and Coyle had to give his stick off. So Coyle didn't have a stick, and he was out at the front. So honestly, this is a 5-on-3.5. And I didn't really see how Rask would have saved it, but all right. The Islanders then press for more, and then with 1:10 left, the Bruins get a power play. This is where you have to score. You have to score before this period's out. You have to let them know, hey, we're in this. You can get within a goal, right? They were 7 for 14 at home coming into tonight in the playoffs. They end up 8 for 16, 50%. But we know from the top of the board here how the score ends up. And so, yeah, Lazar would not return. That was announced in between periods. So we go to the third. Swayman starts the third. Swayman should start Game 6. And I'm not saying that because I want to pile on Tuukka Rask. I'm saying it because the Bruins, I didn't think they I don't know, they just didn't have any breaks tonight, so switch goalies. We've seen Carolina do it. We've seen the Islanders do it, as a for instance, and it can work. So give Swayman the start. He's a very good goaltender. Pastrnak was denied on that brief power play. Remember, with 1 minute and 10 seconds left, they get their first power play. Bergeron was denied as well. So how does it get killed off? Varlamov. He was fantastic. Eberle gets a break out of the box. That was saved, but then it's Nelson at 1:59 from Beauvillier and Pelech. So this makes it 5-2. I think that was the second shot that Swayman had seen in the period. Welcome to the game. There's Brock Nelson. That makes it 5-2, and you've dug yourself down to a 3-goal hole. He didn't get the penalty kills when you needed him. And now, the Islanders, who are a very opportunistic team. The question that I was asked on Twitter, and I'll answer it here. I don't see this as luck. I don't. Because the Islanders played this way last year in the playoffs as well. And they were a really tough out for Tampa Bay when they matched up against Tampa Bay. This team just, they find a way to get the most out of the least. And whether it's that they don't have that big superstar player, true. Whether it's that they don't have a team that on paper you look at and say, wow, that's a contender, true. Barry Trotz finds a way to get the most out of the least, and it's been, even though I do cheer for Boston, it's been impressive to see how they first off knock off Pittsburgh, and now they're a game away from potentially knocking off Boston. So Pastrnak was denied, but the Bruins then get a power play and they score on it. And it's Pastrnak scoring his second of the game from McAvoy and Bergeron, and that's at 3:48. The Islanders then had a 2-on-1. Lauzon defended that. They get another 2-on-1. Beauvillier fires it high. So the Islanders weren't able to hit the net in the third period. The Bruins were playing much better defensively. The Bruins wanted a delay of game call. The referee said no. A couple of different angles showed maybe, but they didn't call it. Bruins had the edge, but they're still down by 2. And that's an issue right there, because the Islanders are a team that's known for being stingy with goals against. Not allowing much here either. Kuhlman was denied. The Islanders were guilty of hanging on. There's more ref, you suck chance that break out at this point. But Krejci scores from Smith and Riley at 14:43. So that makes it 5-4. And this is where I kind of start to feel a little bit bad for Swayman, because now that the Bruins had scored 4 goals, the goaltender of record is Swayman, who again I think starts the next game. Grzelcyk had a net drive that was cleared after that goal. Varlamov covers a Krejci shot. The fans were trying to call some penalties. Kudos to them. It didn't work, but kudos. Goaltender pull with 1:45 left. The Bruins call a timeout with 1:06 left. With 3.9 seconds left, Varlamov preserves the win. So the Bruins get their opportunities, but, at the end, they didn't get the saves when they needed them. And if you want to throw this on Rask, okay. Rask's numbers have been fantastic through the playoffs. I sometimes think that with Rask, the expectation is he has to be great every single game, because when he has an off game, immediately everybody wants to pile on him, which is unrealistic. It's unrealistic that your goaltender is going to be a world beater every single game. So the shots in this one favored Boston heavily. 11-7 in the first, 15-9 in the second, and 18-3 in the third. Final shots 44-19 in favor of Boston. So if you're the Islanders, you're looking at this scoreline, you're going, we stole one tonight. And now you're going home to Nassau, where you've got that crowd that's going to be really loud and really boisterous, which the Boston crowd was here too tonight. And you have a chance to close out a series against a team that's probably been better than you have. And I think the Islanders would admit that. Power plays, the Islanders 3 for 4, Boston 1 for 2. So in the end, there's 6 power plays in the game. 4 of them are for the Islanders, but they scored 3. So while Bruce Cassidy after the game was talking about the New York Saints and da-da-da, okay, both teams had instances in this game where there could have been more penalties called. Sure, you could have had 8 power plays for both teams, but you have to be able to kill off the power plays that are against you. And Boston didn't do that. They killed 1 out of 4 power plays. So, clever wordplay aside, the penalty kill didn't get it done. And you win as a team, you lose as a team. Hits 38-37 in favor of the Islanders. Block shots 15-6 for the Islanders. Varlamov saves 40 out of 44. Tuukka Rask saves 12 out of 16. Again, game 6, I think to go with Swayman. And Swayman was 2 saves on 3 shots and sadly takes the loss tonight. You can't put this on Swayman, but you can put him in for game 6 and hope things turn around. So there you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. And yes, I do hope this goes to game 7. Now I can say it for selfish reasons. Thanks for all your support. I'll talk to you again soon.